my goodness! Why in the world is there so much stuff in here? Devin and I can do all of the rest of the unpacking and everything on our own. You really don't have to worry about helping us or doing anything else at all, Karen. Yeah, that's how you thought things were going to work out when you quit your job. You really have to hurry up and get all of this stuff organized and put it in the right places faster so that my son can get some rest too. It's not like you have a job to go to tomorrow anyway. Even though it is just the two of us working on all of this alone, I can assure you it will be finished soon. We have already finished with all of the big bags, so there isn't really that much left to do. How can you only think of yourself all the time? Are you really expecting my son to do all of this moving and unpacking stuff? No, I didn't want to do anything like that while also complaining about being pregnant. That wasn't my intention at all. That thought never even crossed my mind, really. And I remember you mentioning something about having a bad back. Moving and unpacking and organizing things like this can be really hard work, so I was worried about your health. I wouldn't want you to get hurt or anything. There isn't anything to worry about. So why don't you just hurry up and get a move on with this stuff? The only reason any of this is happening in the first place is because you don't even know the first thing about relationships or how they're supposed to work. What do you mean? From looking at all of this, it's obvious that if I wasn't here helping, Devin would be the only one doing all of the work. I am not that type of person at all. And even if you weren't here with us, I wouldn't just drop everything and leave him to do all of the work by himself. Pregnant women these days are misusing their rights more than ever before. Using pregnancy as an excuse should be enough. I saw on YouTube that there are a lot of women out there now who just go and get married and do things like what you seem to be doing. Those were just YouTube videos, though. That is not what things are like in real life. I'm not like those women in any way at all. Please just stop talking. Are you going to just stand there and talk all day, or are you going to do some work? We could have unpacked and organized another one of these boxes during that conversation. Is this box from the main room? Yes, it is. What on earth kind of dirty suitcase is this? Did you just pick up some random suitcase off of the ground somewhere and decide to use it? It looks like it got a little dirty while we were moving everything. At this rate, I'm going to have to bleach the floors later. How do we know if there isn't some kind of strange virus or something on this? That was given to me as a gift by my parents a long time ago. Even if it was a gift from your parents, how could you see this old, worn-out, disgusting thing and still choose to use it again? I guess there are still a lot of people out there who think it's worth it to keep reusing old junk over and over just to save a few pennies. That is not being frugal. It's just being gross. Karen, what are you trying to say to me right now? Do you have something you want to tell me about my parents? No, don't worry about it. I was just thinking out loud. I fell in love and ended up getting married to my husband, Devin, who was an office worker. My mother-in-law wanted me to quit my job when I got pregnant. So after I got pregnant, I did just that. So here I am, living together with Devin in our new home. I am unemployed now, so I usually end up having a lot of spare time on my hands. It takes around 40 minutes to get here from my mother-in-law's house, but my mother-in-law, Karen, has been going out of her way to come here for the past few days and has been trying to help us unpack and get situated in our new home. Whenever I unpack a box, a bunch of moths fly out. There's a lot of dust as well, and my mother-in-law just nags and nags whenever she's here. She says all of these crazy, nonsensical, and offensive things, but she still continues to make up excuses to come over and help us with the moving and stuff almost every single day. I feel like my ears are bleeding from just listening to all of her constant nagging. I hope we can get all of this moving stuff over with soon so I can just be free. Who in the world could that be at this hour? Oh, Karen? What are you doing here? And at this time of night? My My goodness, Daria. What do you mean, what am I doing here at this time of night? What are you doing opening the door at this time of night? And to what do I owe the pleasure of your visit this time, Karen? Did you have something that you needed to do? Something I needed to do? Actually, yes. I noticed that you guys were out of toilet paper the last time I was here, so I stopped by to bring you some more. What? You came all the way over here just to bring us some toilet paper? Yeah, that's right. Here, take it. You know, Karen, if we ever run out of toilet paper or something like that, I could just go to the store and get it myself. I could even order it online and have it delivered here. I'm sure you could do those things, but the toilet paper at the supermarket by my house is really cheap. And why would you waste money by going to the store or buying it online when I can just come by and bring you some myself? You insulted me just the other day by accusing me of being too frugal and trying to save money. You even brought my parents into it. There's still some time left until Devin gets home from work, right? Yeah, that's right. I stopped by one of those little stands on the side of the road while I was on my way here. Let's all have this for dinner tonight. Do you mean you're going to stay and have dinner here with Devin and me before you go back home? Yeah, why? Do you not want me to have dinner with you? No, it's not that. It's just that we might have to wait another few hours or so before we would be able to all sit down and have a meal together. It's not like we're going to go wander around outside or something like that. We're just going to be in the house. What's wrong with waiting just a few hours? Well, you see, Karen, the thing is... Stop just standing there and put this food in the fridge. Devin really loves crab. He said he hasn't been able to have any in a really long time because he was trying to take care of his body and look good for the wedding. I'll get right on that. What in the world? What is all of this in the sink? This looks like dishes left over from breakfast. Have you still not washed them? What have you been doing this whole time? Have you just been lying around doing nothing all day? I was going to eat lunch first and then wash all of the dishes together after I got finished. You are supposed to wash the dishes right after you use them. This is a lifestyle practice, Daria. Right. Anyway, Karen, why don't you just go over there and sit down and rest for a little while? I'll finish up everything else by myself. Should I? It would be nice to have a cup of coffee, too. I haven't finished organizing everything in the house yet, so I don't know where the coffee is. Yeah, sure. My mother-in-law said she was only going to come and help Devin and me with the initial moving in stuff. But then she kept showing up and trying to organize things, even after we finished getting moved in. She kept coming over every 2 or 3 days. She would just show up out of nowhere to bring us unimportant things that could wait, like cards, toilet paper, and side dishes and stuff. She just kept coming back and forth for silly reasons. I started trying to just accept it, but I eventually reached my limit and just told my husband what was happening and how I felt about all of it. But after he talked to her about it, her behavior didn't really change. At one point, my husband caught a really bad cold. My mother-in-law didn't waste any time and came right over to see him, claiming that she was just so worried. What do you have there, Karen? Oh, I'm going to be spending the night here. You're going to be doing what? Didn't Devin tell you? I'm going to be staying here with you guys until he gets over his cold. I'm going to cook and take care of him. You don't have to worry about anything. I won't get in your way. He just called her over and said it was okay for her to stay with us without consulting me first or letting me know anything at all? Where can I change into my pajamas? I think you can change in that room over there. Okay, I'm gonna go get changed and then I'll get started on dinner. You can go and wait in the kitchen. Devin? Yeah? Why didn't you tell me your mom was going to come and stay with us? I didn't tell you. I guess I forgot. I'm sorry. She just called and I told her that I had a cold and that I wasn't feeling so good. Then she just said she'd come over. If something like that happens, you have to say something. How can you do something like that without letting me know about it first? It's not like it's just anybody. It's only my mom. What's the big deal? We haven't even been living together in this house as a married couple for a month yet. But do you know how many times her mom has been over here so far? If my dad kept showing up here unannounced all of the time, do you think you would be so okay with it? How are you even comparing those two situations like that? My mom just said that she was going to come over. What was I supposed to do? You were supposed to tell her not to come, Devin. I told you the same thing the last time this happened, too. I feel really uncomfortable with her coming back and forth here all of the time like this. I told you what happened already. She called me and I told her not to come, but she didn't listen to me and just came over anyway. Well, you need to tell her again. And this time has got to be the last time you say it nicely. You really have to stop doing it the way you have been. She seems like she's planning to stay here for at least a few days, but I really don't want her to keep spending the night here with us. Okay, but I think it's already too late to say something to her about it today. How about we just let her stay the night tonight? She can stay here tonight, but if she tries to stay here tomorrow too, I'm going to say something to her. All right. I really did think I was getting through to Devin when we talked about it that time, but things didn't really change. I went to bed, and when I woke up the next morning, Karen was still in the house, and she did not seem like she was planning to go home anytime soon. So I talked to my husband about it again, and he told me that she was going to leave after we all had dinner that night. But from that point on, I wasn't able to control my facial expression, so I just stayed in a different room the whole time she was there. If Karen and I ever ran into each other in the hallway or something, I just made a face. I can't take it anymore. Have you seen the faces she's been making at me? I'm so scared. I'll never be able to come back into this house again. Isn't she showing how much she hates me a little too much? Hey, come on, Mom. I think this is all just a big misunderstanding. How long are you going to keep making faces in front of me like that? Are you trying to tell me not to come back here through your facial expressions? Look! She's just openly sighing in my face! You did it that way on purpose so that I would be able to hear it. Come on now, Daria. She is so obnoxious. When your husband is talking to you, you are supposed to respond to him. Women these days don't show any fear in front of their husbands anymore. Daria! What is it? I said your name. Did you not hear me? Oh, I heard you. So why are you just ignoring me? You ignored me when you didn't keep your promise, so that means I can ignore you now, too. What? What did you just say? Wow! Look at this girl! Where did she learn how to treat people like that? Daria, why are you acting like this? Do you have a problem with my mom being here with us? Yeah, that's right! Daria, I said, do you have a problem with my mom being here with us? Do you want me to tell you the truth? Yeah, go ahead. Yes, I truly hate your mom being here with us. I think that she has been coming over here entirely too often. What do you mean entirely too often? A lot of married couples live like this. That is the life that a lot of married couples live. But we are ourselves. We are our own people, living our own lives. We got married and moved into this house together so that we could live independently without any type of interference from others. But is that what we're doing right now? Listen to what this girl is saying. It's not like my mom came over here just to bother you, Daria. She came here because she wants to help take care of me while I'm not feeling well. She's just going to stay for a little while longer. So why do you have to keep making faces at her like that? She stands outside of the bedroom and calls his name every morning at the crack of dawn. She always sits right between us. What can bother a newly married couple more than that? What woman wouldn't be bothered by all of this? If I had known all of this stuff was going to happen, I wouldn't have agreed to any of it in the first place.
Daria, you know that my mom lives by herself. Can we not even share a few meals together sometimes? It's not like our home is some kind of forbidden place where she can't come over and visit from time to time. What kind of daughter-in-law can just openly show how much she dislikes this situation like this?
I know all about your mom's situation, and I understand it. And it really is unfortunate that she lives by herself. But if you want to think about it that way, you could also try considering me and my situation. My parents are living in an entirely different country, and we all miss each other a lot. I am pregnant, so my body isn't always in the best shape. I would love to be able to just call my mom and receive some comfort and care from her too, but I'm dealing with it all on my own. There's nothing anybody can do about your parents living so far away. Devin lives only 40 minutes away from me. So what is the problem with me just stopping by here every once in a while? Your son is an independent adult. Soon he is going to be the head of his own family. If you keep showing up to a grown man's house every time he catches a cold, how can he become the head of his own household? Why can't you just feed him well so that he doesn't catch a cold in the first place? What are you talking about? Okay, I get it. Everything is my fault. I won't stop by as often anymore. Okay? I'm leaving. Everything you said was so rude and condescending.
You're not even going to eat anything before you leave?
Look at this atmosphere. Do you really think I'm going to be able to eat anything here? I would feel much better just going back home, turning off all the lights and going to bed.
You're really going to let my mom just leave like this, are you?
I really don't care how she goes. If you're so worried about her being lonely, you can go with her and sleep at her house.
What did you just say?
I'm leaving. Good night.
Wait, Mom! Please don't go. Let me drop you off.
After that ordeal, she didn't come back over again for a while. My husband kept trying to convince me to apologize to her, but I just ignored him. After maybe a week or two, the atmosphere finally started to calm down a little bit. But one day, I suddenly heard the sound of the door lock clicking. Devin had already gone to work, and we weren't expecting anybody to come over or anything. I was scared. I panicked and went out the front door. Apparently, there was someone out there that knew the password to get into our home. They punched it in and just came in the house. Turns out it was Karen. Karen? Is that you? Looking at the state of your clothes, you seem to be living pretty comfortably these days. Karen, how in the world did you get in here? Devin gave me the password to the door. Don't you think that's weird to just burst into someone else's home like this? What is it now? Are you in a bad mood again? If you care about your house so much, maybe you should be paying more close attention. Are you upset with me because I came in here without asking you for your permission first? What are you talking about, Karen? No matter how much I think about it, I keep feeling so sorry for my poor son, so I couldn't just not come by. What do you mean you feel sorry for him? After that one day when I went home all upset because you kept making those awful faces at me, I couldn't get those images out of my head. Were you able to just forget about all of that? I haven't been able to get any sleep ever since. What on earth are you trying to say to me right now, Karen? How could I just stay at home, silent, and let my son be in this house alone with someone who behaves the way you do? What if you murder my son while I'm not around? What in the hell? What on earth are you talking about? That's right. I am not going to let you get away with any of this. If that wasn't what you have been thinking about doing this whole time, why else would you be treating me and my son this way? What was making me feel bad was you not respecting our privacy. Don't play games with me. Do you know how long I have been on this earth?
I have been alive for way too long to believe lies like that from a young person like you. Anyway, for the sake of my son, I need to educate you on how to act right for a while.
You need to what?
You're going to make it so that my son can't live comfortably even in his own home. Until things get better around here, I am going to keep coming. Just know that.
Karen, how can you say something like that? I've actually been living in my own home since before I got married. When I was around 25 years old, I set a goal to buy a house of my own. I saved up all of the money that I needed, and I was able to buy my house by spending less money on things like food and clothes. Before Devin and I got married, Devin told his mom that I had already bought a home of my own at a young age. Back then, she praised me for being such a smart daughter-in-law. But now I know she must not have actually felt that way. When she said that she would start to quote-unquote educate me so that her son wouldn't die, I was truly shocked. I had a really big fight with Devin when he came home from work that day. I asked him why in the world did he give his mom the password to the door lock without telling me like that. He said something about how she wasn't just anyone, but one of his close family members, so he didn't see what the big deal was. He talked about how the house belongs to the both of us and not just one of us. We had a pretty hard time working things out when we first started talking about it. He had made a big decision without letting me know about it first again. But in the end, we worked it all out and he apologized to me. He even went so far as to clean the bathroom that weekend to try to make it up to me.
What do you think you're doing?
Jeez, you scared me. Karen? How long have you been in here?
Just get out of the way.
Oh my goodness.
Mom, what are you doing in here? No, Devin. What are you doing in here? Why are you trying to clean the bathroom?
Excuse me, but Karen…
You be quiet. I knew that things would turn out this way. Are you doing this just because this is your house? Are you doing this because Devin is the head of the household now?
No? Karen, what are you even talking about?
What do you mean, what am I talking about? How else can you explain what is happening in here right now? How can you act like this after quitting your job? How can you make my son do all of this extra work around the house when he already has a full-time job to go to every day?
Karen, he is doing this because he wants to do it. He offered to do it. Devin, please talk to her. She is misunderstanding the situation.
So, Mom, let me try to explain. My poor son met the wrong woman, and now he is just dying. The poor man can't even speak in front of his own wife. I feel so sorry for my son. What should I do?
I can't take this anymore. Devin, please do something!
Be quiet! How can you say that you're doing something good? Did you bring my son into this household just to treat him like he's your servant or something? If I had known this was going to happen, I would have sold my own body to pay for him to get a house of his own.
We are trying to tell you that this is all just another misunderstanding.
Why are you just standing there not saying anything? She is misunderstanding the whole situation. That excuse is really starting to get old. Stop trying to make my son, who already works so hard at his job, do extra work at home. You just do it!
Karen,
how can you just throw that toilet brush at me like that? I almost got hurt. Is your body more important than Devin's? Are you saying that since you are the owner of the house, the lowly servant is the only one that should be doing all of the work around here?
Karen, really? Why are you being like this? Do you have some kind of inferiority complex or something?
Daria, are you really talking to her like that right now? Inferiority complex? How can someone say something like that to their mother-in-law? That's what I'm saying! My mom was in shock, but she wasn't thinking anything negative about you. I will explain it more calmly in a minute. Let's just get out of here first.
My own husband had turned me into the bad guy and just acted like he didn't even know about the history between his mom and me. Devin treating me that way was more of a shock than Karen coming back and doing all of that crazy stuff she did. He took her side. He said something about how he couldn't just stand by and watch his mom suffer the way she was. The reason why she keeps talking about our home the way she does is because she says she doesn't like that her son is so dependent on someone else. But she still keeps coming over to the house. He's been secretly on her side, being dissatisfied this whole entire time. I couldn't say anything because I was just so dumbfounded by the whole situation. I just decided to stop talking and ignore them both. What are you doing here? You can't answer my phone calls, but you can sit in here chatting and giggling with one of your friends.
Who do you think you are coming in here talking to us like that?
I am her mother-in-law, if you absolutely must know. I have some business to take care of with Daria, so could you please just get out of our way?
You're her what? Her mother-in-law?
Look at this. She's not even introducing her mother-in-law properly to her friend. She's just sitting there with a rotten look on her face. What kind of daughter-in-law behaves like that? And look at you sitting here in this room with us, being just as disrespectful as she is.
What in the world?
Let's just go and talk somewhere else, Karen. How can you be so rude to me? Just ignoring my calls like that. What is it now? Are you embarrassed that you're getting scolded by your mother-in-law in front of one of your little friends? Do you think you're the only one here with pride? I have pride too. Karen, let's just go and talk outside. We're bothering her. Good. People should be hearing this. Hey, everybody! Look over here. This is my daughter-in-law. She got married and then she started ignoring her mother-in-law. Is this something that can really happen? How does this country work? What in the world are you doing? Why didn't you answer any of my phone calls? Please stop this and just step outside with me. If you really want me to stop, promise me that you will make Devin a co-owner on your house. What in the... What? You don't want to do it? Then I'll just stay here and not leave. Okay, well, stay then. I'll leave. What? Where are you going? You stay right where you are. Look at how this woman is being so inconsiderate to her poor old mother-in-law. Are you even pregnant? You've been lying about being pregnant this whole time, haven't you? What? What? Are you being serious? Why are you yelling? Really? How can you come out here and embarrass yourself in front of the whole neighborhood like this? And how long are you going to be like this about the house? So just make him a co-owner. How are you not embarrassed to be acting this way at your age? What did you just say to me? Wow, you really know how to talk to people. As people get older, they become less visible. If it was for the future and well-being of my son, I could strip down naked and run around the neighborhood. Do whatever you want. I can see what you're doing. You think you're not going to be able to succeed at getting me to add Devin's name to my house. What did you just say? I'm already showing, so I can't just lie to everyone about being pregnant. You're always just lashing out at me out of nowhere and for no reason. How do you expect me to take you seriously and just do whatever you tell me to do? Look at how you are not even mentioning the house at all right now. I never thought I would end up being so unlucky in my later years, but now my whole entire life has been completely ruined. And it's all because of you. What are you even talking about, Karen? If you would just make Devin a co-owner on the house, I will take back all of the things I ever said to you. Whether we decide to make any type of decision like that or not is between me and Devin. Please stop interfering. I'm leaving. What did you just say to me? Where are you going? Karen had made me so stressed that I eventually became physically ill. I caught a cold from fatigue. But apparently, Devin let his mom know about that at some point. You would think that Karen wouldn't just show up at our house unannounced again, right? I heard you're sick. How does someone who just stays at home all of the time get sick? What did you just say? Don't sleep next to my son from now on. What if my son gets sick because of you? There's that small room over there. Go in that room and don't even think about taking a single step out of there until you're not sick anymore. Shouldn't you have asked if I was okay first? How would that make a difference? Instead of just standing there drooling and sniffling and getting your germs everywhere, shouldn't you be hurrying up and getting into that room over there? I had to come all the way over here because I was worried you would be like this. My son is weak-minded, so he wouldn't have been able to make these types of decisions on his own. What do you think is wrong? It's not like I have COVID or something.
Daria, it's not like she's wrong. Just quarantine in the other room for a little while. It'd only be for a few days or so. Your cold will go away faster if you're alone. It's for the health of the baby as well. You have to get healthy quickly for the both of you.
What did you just say? Are you going to just lock me up in a room and then have some kind of party or something with your mom?
What are you talking about? What do you mean by party?
Your mom got so excited and went shopping. If it's not for a party, then what is it for? What is this girl thinking? You come here knowing that your daughter-in-law has fallen ill, and you show up with your arms full of expensive meat and stuff from the grocery store. So what? Did you want some of it? Did you want to eat together? Would it make you feel better if we all just sat down at the same table, talking and getting along, having a good time, and then we all caught your cold?
Yeah, Daria. No matter how serious your cold is, how are you expecting to get over it acting like this?
Stop. Just get in there. Go in. Because of you, I'm worried about getting germs in my mouth. I'm scared I'm going to get some kind of virus or something. Just hurry up and get in that room. Why are you pushing me? Move! Get off of me!
Mom, what are you doing?
Oh my goodness! Are you pushing your own mother-in-law now?
What are you doing? Why are you acting like this?
Don't you know that the younger person is always protected in cases like this? What are you even saying? Right. You're getting on to me for not making Devin a co-owner on my house again. What's even more unfair is me being scolded in my own home. Just get out of my house! Both of you! What did you just say?
Daria, are you really going to go to such extremes? No matter what my mom says to you, you can't just do something like this.
I can't do something like what? You're getting out of here first. From now on, I am no longer your wife. So would you please take your mom and get out of my house?
What are you even saying right now, Daria? What do you mean you are no longer my wife?
I am saying that I am divorcing you. How is it that when I say things in a nice way, no one seems to be able to hear it?
Divorce? You want to get divorced? How can you just say you want to get divorced?
Why on earth did you and your mom let this marriage even happen in the first place? What is she talking about now? Your mother is the one living with you and taking care of you all the time. Why would she send you off to get married to someone she thinks is too frugal, uneducated, and undeserving of you? Your mother is a really big problem. But you, a fully grown man who can't leave his mother's embrace, are an even bigger problem than she is.
What did you just say? So you're really going to divorce me even though you're pregnant?
I do not want to turn out like your mother. I do not want my child to witness that type of behavior. You just keep living your life with your mom the way that you always have, forever. She is the only one who can deal with you anyway. Are you out of your mind? What are you going to do with my grandchild? Divorce? Have you ever seen such an irresponsible woman?
Yeah, you're right, Mom. She's being unreasonable.
See? You are still taking her side. Your mother doesn't know how lucky she is to have me as a daughter-in-law and treats me like she doesn't care about me at all. Because of the way she treats me, I have become the bad daughter-in-law that she has always accused me of being. What is this woman saying to my son now? Karen, you need to get it together too. What did you just say? You always act like you are so desperate to get Devin away from me. And on top of all of that, you are constantly bringing up all of this stuff about my home. I just can't keep living like this. It's all such a mess. I can't even eat. So I'm just stopping all of this here. You brat! So in the end, you're just throwing us out because of the house? Yes. So now that you are finally getting it, just get out of here. Take all of that meat that you brought with you. Eat to your heart's content. Oh no! The meat! What is the matter with you? Why are you throwing people's groceries like this?
Daria, really? Why are you acting like this? Is it the pregnancy hormones? Is that why you're being so sensitive?
You're not even thinking about all of the awful things you have done to me and are blaming it on me being pregnant. I am so tired of being told that I'm being sensitive.
You changed so much after we got married. You changed after you got pregnant.
Why do you think I changed? Think about it for a second. Think about how you both treated me before and after we got married. Think about how you treated me before and after I got pregnant.
No matter how much I think about it, I just can't understand your behavior.
What else can I expect from you?
Why are you doing this? Really?
Because of a virus like you, I feel like I am going to die. I am fighting to stay alive. You idiot! Both of you! Just leave!
But Daria!
I threw all of the groceries that Karen bought out of the front door. I didn't even have to kick them out after all of that. They ran out on their own. They ran out barefoot, and I threw their shoes out after them. Devin acted like he had come to his senses way too late. He stood there at the front door, begging me to take him back, but I just ignored him. I told him that if he wouldn't give me custody and rights to our child without a fight, I would file for divorce and request compensation for psychological damages. He eventually gave up. Karen was trying to create a better future for her son, but she ended up ruining it for him instead. When Devin realized that after I kicked him out, he finally blamed his mother. He really hid behind his mother. It is truly pathetic how he could praise her and cheer her on while they both attacked his pregnant wife. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.
My dear, aren't you a beautiful-looking young woman? You think so too, Aunt Mary? Wow, Daniel. I'm very impressed at the fact that you were able to bring such a clever and lovely young lady as your wife-to-be. Knowing how careless you are sometimes, I was honestly quite worried about the type of woman you'd be willing to marry in the future. But looking at her now, I guess I won't have to worry about it at all. I agree with you, Mary. I would be delighted to have her as my daughter-in-law. Don't you agree? I think it goes without saying. You must feel very lucky to have such an amazing young woman to become your daughter-in-law. My goodness, Ada. How I envy you. You must have put off a lot of burden on your shoulders now. My son could be as careless as a fool sometimes, so I'll admit that I was quite concerned about the type of girl he'd be attracted to. I guess being careless does run in my blood. You're currently employed at Google as a secretary under the CEO?
Yes, ma'am.
That's amazing. I always saw the man on TV, and I can't believe his secretary is sitting right in front of me. That must take a great amount of skill. Your pay must be extremely good too, right?
Not really, ma'am.
Really? That's quite surprising. Come on, Aunt Mary. You're making this greeting sound like some kind of job interview. I agree with Daniel, actually. I don't think it was that necessary to bring up her yearly income. What's the big deal, you guys? I was just curious because nobody in our family has ever even been employed in a company like this. I wasn't trying to be rude or anything. I was just curious, you know?
It's all right, ma'am. I understand.
Could I ask why you switched jobs from being a secretary at a law firm to Google? Did they offer to pay you more?
No, that wasn't the reason why I left the law firm. But law firms do offer better pay.
Then why did you leave the law firm?
Larger corporations have better welfare for the employees, and I felt that they are more systematic when it comes to working. That is why I moved. The work-life balance is also significantly better than a place such as law firms.
So I'm assuming that you are going to stick with this job?
Yes, I will. The company offers me child and marriage support, so that is a very big plus for me.
That's nice to hear. Daniel tells me that you have 2 sisters. So only daughters in your family.
That's right, ma'am. I am the youngest of 3 sisters.
Even though we heard that your family is native to the islands of Catalina, we wanted to welcome you with all our hearts.
Pardon me?
I don't know if you've heard from Daniel, but on our side of the family, we don't get to encounter daughters, or much daughter-in-laws for that matter. Daughters in our family are like finding a needle in a haystack. We love and welcome any daughter-in-law who is willing to get married to our sons.
That's true. All the female in-laws on my uncle's side of the family were all loved and adored greatly.
Really?
Mia, was it?
Yes, ma'am.
It was such a great pleasure to meet you today. I hope you understand our flaws and are able to get along well together.
I am flattered, ma'am. It was great meeting you as well.
I knew you were a great match for my son the moment I laid eyes on you. You seem like a great woman in general, and I would love to have you as my daughter-in-law.
You don't have to speak so highly of me. But thank you for your compliments. I really appreciate it.
Maybe I'll cut down on the compliments after the wedding. But today we just got started on knowing about each other, so I want to treat you with respect. How could I not compliment such a lovely young woman like you?
Thank you, ma'am.
I know that generally speaking, it's not easy for a mother and daughter-in-law to get along well. But I don't want it to be that way. If we make the efforts into forming a good bond with one another, I think that people will end up envying our relationship. I don't really expect anything grandiose on a daily basis, so you don't have to worry about that. Just checking up and saying hello to me and asking me about how I'm doing occasionally is perfectly fine. What? Since when were you such a morning greeting type of woman? Mia, don't you worry about having to call me, dear. I don't even bother to stare at my phone that much anyways. I'm sick and tired of it. Oh, right, I remember why you're so tired of using your phone. Back when I first got married, my mother-in-law would give me such a hard time just because I wouldn't call her every morning to see how she was doing. It was such a nightmare. I still sometimes get shivers staring at my phone in the morning. I still remember how she came after me. She sure did. I remember all of it. She showed you no mercy in front of all the other family members. It was quite the sight. If I ever had to contact you about something, Mia, I'll contact Daniel first. I just want to make this clear so you understand the situation. I don't want you to feel bad about me not calling you. I just know how it feels for a mother-in-law to relentlessly call their daughter-in-law. During the first several years of my marriage, I would feel so anxious whenever my cell phone rang.
Thank you. I really appreciate you being very thoughtful.
Shall we go eat, Mary? Yes, let's go eat. I am absolutely starving.
Is there anything I can do? Or anything I can help with?
No, sweetie. You can go ahead and rest in the guest room. It's your first time visiting us, so please be my guest.
But are you sure about that? Is it really okay for me to just rest?
House chores are all you're going to be doing once you get married. I don't want you to feel exhausted already, so take it easy before the marriage. Women really have it tough, don't we?
Chores, chores, and chores. The chores just never end for us.
After meeting your mother, I feel so much better about you.
Really? That's very good to hear.
Your aunt also seems like a very good person. They seem like nice people.
Aunt Mary is just very direct and outspoken. Sometimes a little too much. She's very good at speaking what's on her mind. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Does she really? What about your mother?
Mom's the same as when you met her. She's not greedy or envious in any particular way. Honey, my mom and Aunt Mary are here.
My sweet dear, you must be exhausted.
Yes, I feel so tired.
You did a great job, dear. The baby is nice and healthy, and the whole process went safely. We women really have it rough, don't we?
I don't think I want to have a second child after that.
I can guarantee you that things don't necessarily work that way. In a couple years, you'll be in so much love with your baby, you'd want to have another. The expected delivery date came a lot faster than we'd anticipated. We were on vacation to Canada for a little while, and as soon as we get back, what do you know? The baby is born.
Did you guys have a nice trip to Canada?
Yes, we did. But we feel so bad that we weren't able to be with you during your delivery. I feel so bad. I'm terribly sorry, dear.
I mean, it's not like you being here would have eased the pain or something, Mom.
That's not exactly my point. I'm saying that Mia could have felt mildly disappointed. But we have a beautiful little baby girl. I can't wait to see my lovely little princess. Your beautiful daughter-in-law gave birth to such a lovely little granddaughter. After seeing mostly sons and grandsons, it's strange but quite refreshing to finally see a baby girl. I know, right? It feels like I just won the lottery or something.
Mom, Aunt Mary, look. Our baby girl's here.
Oh, there's a nurse to look after the baby.
The chairman of Mia's company offers special support for secretaries, so they were able to get us a nurse.
How grateful.
Mia has worked at the company for at least 10 years, so she also gets different bonuses from her company. They even provide us with special housekeeping for 2 months as a special bonus from the company. Isn't that amazing?
Is that so? I guess hard work as a secretary at a large corporation truly does pay off. That's fantastic. I'm so very grateful for all the help we are getting. So were you discharged from the hospital 2 days ago?
Yes. The delivery was all natural, so it's not really necessary for us to stay any longer.
That makes sense. I guess there wouldn't be much need to stay at the postpartum clinic when there are 2 people to come and help us.
Mia made the decision to choose between staying at the clinic or getting the support she can from her company. Look at our cute little baby princess. Isn't she adorable?
She really is lovely. Look at her, a spitting image of her father. She looks just like Daniel. She really does. Isn't she adorable? It's absolutely remarkable how she can look so similar to her father.
She really looks a lot like me, doesn't she? She's such a cute little baby. I love my baby girl.
She is our first granddaughter in our family. This is really a historical moment for all of us. It really does feel unusual to see a baby girl for the first time in our household, in the best way possible. Mary, take a look at her little tiny little fingers and feet. Isn't that the most adorable thing you've ever seen? Oh my heavens, look at those tiny little fingers and limbs. Baby girls really do have much tinier and cuter bodies. Look at her adorable little nails. Oh, they are so tiny, you can barely even see them. She must be 1,000 times more lovely to you, Ada. Considering that she looks just like your own son, you must absolutely adore her right now. She's still my beautiful little granddaughter, no matter who she looks like. She will be my princess no matter what.
Aunt Mary, look. Take a look at her ears. Her ears look just like mine as well.
You're right. How cute.
Aunt Mary, is Uncle Albert coming over anytime soon to see the baby?
Are you kidding? Our dear Mia needs some good rest for a while after her labor. Your uncle is coming on over in 2 days, on Saturday.
What? I remember Uncle Albert telling me that he'd give me some money as a gift if we have a daughter.
Did he really say that?
Yes, he did. I remember correctly. Wait, Aunt Mary, did you call Kevin yet?
He'll be here on the same day as your uncle, so he'll most likely be here sometime during the weekend.
Is Kevin's wife Claudia coming as well? They're both coming, right?
Of course they are.
Oh, geez. Is this really happening?
Kevin and Claudia gave birth to 2 sons, right? I guess that makes us victorious, because we had a daughter on our first attempt.
Good for you, Daniel. Good for you.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah? What is it?
She's such a pretty little angel, don't you think?
She sure is, Daniel. She's such an angel that I want to take her home and raise her myself.
You really want to do that? Do you think you can take care of our baby girl?
No, I was just joking, you klutz. But she is really adorable. And I'm so glad to see her well and healthy. Yes, hello? Of course I'm at your brother's house right now. Where else would I be? You couldn't come visit if you wanted to anyway. You're too far away right now and you're so busy working. I'll talk to you later, son. Okay, bye.
Was that John on the phone?
Yes, it was John.
I've been sending him photos and videos of the baby, because I know that he wouldn't be able to come. He's such a busy guy.
That's good of you to do so. Your younger brother is literally dying to meet his baby niece. The person looking after the baby for us is an absolute professional. Look at the way she carefully holds the baby in her arms.
You're right. She really is a professional. One of the best out there.
Recovery from childbirth requires you to eat well. They say laughter is the best medicine, but when it comes to childbirth, eating is the best.
The housekeeper is taking very good care of my meals and nutrition. She is looking after me with great care.
But I bet you that she won't be giving you food like this. Here, take this. This is very high-quality roast beef. You can hand this to the housekeeper, along with this seafood that I've bought. Ask her to make you a nice hot porridge with all the ingredients. I'd cook it for you myself, but I had to rush to the hospital after getting the call of your delivery. So I just brought all of the main important ingredients for now.
Oh, you didn't have to. All of this must have been so expensive.
Don't mention it, dear. You gifted us with a beautiful baby princess, so I will do my best to give back with all I can.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I really mean it.
Here's a little extra something from me as your mother-in-law. To you, my precious daughter-in-law. Here, take some of this cash.
Why, Mom is on a roll today with her gifts.
Mia, here is my gift to you. Take some of this cash as well.
Thank you so much for everything. This means so much to me. I will go and buy lots of baby products. There were lots of different products I wanted to get for the baby.
That's fantastic, dear. But make sure to spend some on yourself as well. You absolutely deserve it. Mary, shall we leave now? I think it's about time we leave. We just got off from the airport. I think we need a little bit of rest as well. Oh, come on, Ada. Can't we just stay a little longer? Don't you want to stay and look at our little princess? It's our first baby girl in the family. We have to think about Mia as well. She is exhausted from giving birth. She needs her rest. You'd probably like it if we just left now. Right, Mia?
No, it's all right. You guys can feel free to stay.
All right then, let's leave.
My sweet little princess! How is my baby girl doing?
Let her see her environment for once. You've been up and over her face for the whole day now.
What's wrong with that? I'm just staring at my beautiful baby girl because she looks so much like me.
Do you really love your baby that much?
Yes, especially since she's a daughter.
Then why didn't you say anything before?
What?
I'm talking about when your mother and aunt came over.
What about it?
How come you weren't thinking about how I could have felt in that situation?
What are you talking about all of a sudden?
I gave birth 2 days ago, right?
Yes, you did.
When your mother and aunt came over, I had absolutely no problem with any of it. There's nothing wrong with a grandmother coming to see the birth of her granddaughter, right? My problem is that it's only been 2 days since I've given birth, and I'm still exhausted. I'm still in a big process of recovery after labor, and I was hoping that I could get some good rest at home for some time. But you went ahead and invited your relatives. I'm still in a state of exhaustion from giving birth, but why do I have to greet your relatives? Am I not allowed to get any rest?
I mean, the only people visiting are my uncle, my oldest cousin, and his wife.
That's 3 people. For me, it's 3 too many.
My cousin and his wife are already pretty close with you, so I didn't think there would be a big problem with that. They were very excited to see a daughter in the family for the first time, so I was happy to call them over.
Honey, I don't think you understand the basics of the childbirthing process. I don't think you get how physically and mentally exhausting it is.
You know my family members. You already know that they don't expect you to prepare a massive feast for them. All they're here for is to see the baby and have some coffee.
I'm just not in the mood to meet and have conversations with people at the moment.
Why not?
I don't know. I just feel that way for some reason. I feel a bit gloomy.
What's wrong? Normally, women are jumping for joy after they give birth.
Who said that?
When I watch the news or any TV program, most of the mothers were like that.
The TV producers are literally going around shoving the cameras into their faces. Do you expect them to smile or cry?
So, are you saying that you want to cry right now?
Yes, I actually cried a little this morning.
Why did you cry?
I don't know. I just feel depressed for some reason. When I stare at the baby, I feel afraid. I think I feel extremely overwhelmed right now, thinking about how this baby's life is now in my hands.
Well, that's the responsibility of parents. I think it's quite normal to feel that way.
I look at the baby and I think about how helpless it would be without us. When the thought came into my mind, my eyes were filled with tears. I couldn't help but cry thinking about how helpless she would be if we weren't there for her.
I think it would be good to search this up online. Is there such a thing as post-childbirth depression? Or anything similar to that?
Yes, there is. It's a real form of mental illness.
Really?
Yes. And I feel like I'm having it right now. I feel depressed and gloomy, so I'm not in the mood to fake a smile and greet guests at the house. I'm really not in the mood for any of that. I'm being serious with you, honey. I need some rest.
Okay, then. For now, it'll just be my uncle, my cousin, and his wife to visit us.
Can't you tell them to visit us at another time? I'm being serious.
Why, honey?
If we have guests over, that means that we have to serve them tea, and I have to get up and move around.
The housekeeper can take care of all of that. You don't have to worry about serving. You're going to be lying in bed anyways.
What? What did you just say?
Nothing, sorry. I'll tell them to come over at another time. Look at our princess breathing. It's the cutest thing ever. Honey, my uncle, aunt, and Emma are here.
Are you kidding me right now? I thought I told him to tell them to come over at another time.
Uncle Albert, look. She's our beautiful little daughter. Isn't she gorgeous? Of course I heard the news. I'm here to see my precious little granddaughter. Right? Mia and Daniel, you two must have been through a lot for the past few days. I just want to thank you guys for giving us such a beautiful baby girl.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you coming over to visit.
Isn't this amazing, Albert? It sure is. You were really right about one thing, Mary. It sure is quite refreshing to see a baby girl for the first time after being around a handful of boys.
Congratulations, Mia. You must have been exhausted.
Thanks, Emma.
When you were in the hospital giving birth, I was considering going to the emergency room, but I figured that it would be better to let you be. Here, take this. It's high-grade seafood that I picked up this morning. I got you only the freshest catch of the day. You're really going to need the nourishment.
Thank you so much, Emma. You didn't have to.
It's nice that we're all able to gather together in one place like this. It would have been quite chaotic if we were all in the hospital room together. So this is much nicer. I'm glad you made the decision to recover at home.
Yes, Emma. I'm also glad to be able to recover at home. Did Emma already forget what it's like after giving childbirth? Did she not feel this way when she had her children? I thought she would be the one to at least relate with me a little. Uncle Albert, isn't she the most precious little thing? She sure is, Daniel. Here, let me take a good look at her face. Actually, I don't know what everyone's talking about. She doesn't look like you. She looks a lot more like your deceased father. Don't you think so, Mary? Doesn't she look a lot like Daniel's father? Now that you've mentioned it in such a way, I can totally see the resemblance. How fascinating. She does look a lot like him. Her face is very similar to him. Is that really true, Uncle Albert? Yes, she looks a lot like your father. Wow, it's actually so cool to hear that. I need to go get a photo of Dad to see if it's actually true. You don't have to go searching for a photo. I have one in my phone. See, compare their nose, lips, and ears. They're exactly alike. Wow, you're right. That's so cool. Here, honey, have some soup. I'm not hungry right now. I'll eat it later. You need to have some right now. The housekeeper said that you need to eat at least 5 times a day. I'm so tired of eating like this every single day. You can't be tired of eating. You need it to live. Here, have some of this soup. I'll feed it to you. I'm sick of this soup and I'm sick of you. I'm sick of your mother, your relatives, and all your family members. Jeez, you startled me. Why are you yelling all of a sudden? You're going to wake the baby. I'm so sick of everything. I'm tired of all your family members. Why are they like this? What do you mean? Do any of the elders in your household have basic common sense? What? I literally gave birth less than 10 days ago. Not 10 weeks, not 10 months, but less than 10 days ago. For the past couple of days, your family has been coming over and it's been so exhausting. Today, 5 people came over to look at the baby and I'm just so sick and tired of it. They didn't even visit us once, but the 5 of them came 2 separate times in the same day. You know how much they love to see their granddaughter. That's just how it is for them. I get that they want to see their granddaughter, but don't they have the slightest thoughts and concerns for me? How can they be so oblivious to my current state and come visit us anytime they feel like looking at our daughter? How can you talk about my family like that? Try going around asking people about their in-laws. I bet you won't hear about how nice and polite their in-laws are as compared to my family. It's no use being nice and polite if they've got no basic common sense in regards to their daughter-in-law. I'm telling you, all I need is just some rest by myself. I don't like being around people right now because I'm mentally and physically exhausted. What's wrong, honey? Why are you being like this? I don't know. Why are you crying, honey? I don't know. I just feel so depressed. I'm terribly depressed. I feel even more depressed when I look at our daughter. I feel so overwhelmed by the fact that our daughter only sleeps when she's in my arms. Your phone is ringing. It's the nurse who looks after our daughter.
Yes, ma'am. What? Are you badly injured? Is everything all right? Oh, you're at the hospital. Yes, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Right now, you should just focus on your recovery. I'll take care of the rest, so don't worry about it. I'll call you again tomorrow. Bye.
What happened?
She slipped on an icy pavement and injured herself.
Is she all right? Is it a serious injury?
She tore her tendons. She's in the emergency room right now. But I don't think it's anything too critical.
So does that mean that she can't look after the baby tomorrow?
Obviously not.
Then can you ask your boss to help you out?
My boss? Of all people? No, I don't think so. I'm not involving my boss in this. That's crazy. We can watch her.
I guess you're right.
If I had known this would happen, I should have just stayed at a care clinic instead of at home. Now I'm just full of regrets. This is driving me crazy. The situation just keeps getting worse and worse.
I think it would be better to ask my mom to look after the baby. It would be wise to do so until we can get a new nurse.
Your mother?
It'll be better for us, and good for my mom. She'll love it if we ask her to look after our daughter.
Do you think she'll look after our baby?
Of course she would.
She might also have a busy schedule. I don't feel the need to go out of my way and asking her to babysit.
Come on, honey. You know how my mother is. You know she's not that type of person. My mom's an easygoing woman. She doesn't like to nitpick and is always there to listen to our favors.
I'm well aware of that, but still, I don't feel too comfortable.
Finding another nurse is probably going to take about 4 days, at most. It's not like we are asking her to look after the baby for an entire week.
I'm so sorry about all this.
You don't have to be sorry, dear. The nurse got into an accident, so none of this should be on you. It's okay.
Mom, is that all you've brought? Why did you bring so little clothes?
I thought you told me that 4 days would be enough to look after the baby.
Yeah, but still, you never know. It can possibly be extended without notice.
Is he being serious right now? Is he seriously telling her to bring more clothes?
Don't worry about it. I'll go back and get more clothes when I need to.
All right, then.
You don't need to worry either, Mia. You can just stay in your room and relax. I'll take the baby and make sure she gets her sleep.
We cleaned up the baby's room, so everything should be clean and tidy. We put out fresh blankets so you can use those. There's a TV in the room as well, so feel free to turn it on.
That's great. I appreciate you guys cleaning up and tidying the room up for me to use. I guess I'll make myself at home.
My mom will take care of it now, honey. You can go on inside.
Mia, you can go inside your room now, dear. I don't want you to catch a cold. The living room can get quite cold. You should go inside and get some sleep. I heard you stayed up all night yesterday.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and get some sleep.
Of course, get some rest, Mia. My little princess! Your nanny is here! Come here, my little baby.
Then I'll be leaving for work. See you later, Mom.
Did you have breakfast?
Yeah, I had oatmeal earlier. I'll be back.
All right, son.
Make sure to text me if you need anything, Mom.
Okay, Daniel. You go on to work now.
Lucky Mom. You get to stay with the baby all day. It's all thanks to me, right? You're grateful to have me as your son, huh?
I sure am grateful to have you as my son. I think you can go take a shower now, Mia. Do you want to take a nice warm shower?
Don't worry. I'll shower later on.
Okay, dear. Make sure the water isn't too boiling hot when you're showering. Warm or lukewarm water is always best. You can turn on the heater while you do so, in case you feel cold. I cleaned up the heater for you to use.
I can take care of it on my own, thank you.
All right, dear. I'll go ahead and burp the baby. Ada? What's wrong? You're hitting her back too hard. Was I being too rough?
Yes, please be a bit more gentle. She's only 40 days old. Please be more gentle with her. She's still an infant.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't know I was being too rough on her. I think it would be better for you to burp her. I'll go in the baby's room and clean some things up.
I appreciate you opening up the windows to allow for ventilation, but it's still very cold outside. I don't want the baby to catch a cold. Her room is very chilly right now.
She'll be in your room while I let some of the outside air in, so it'll be fine. Winter air is the absolute best when it comes to purifying air indoors. Just 3 minutes of winter air can really clear up the air inside.
Yes, I understand that. But I wish that you'd be a little more careful about the baby catching a cold. If she catches a cold and a fever, you wouldn't be able to care for her every single day. That is the reason why I want you to be a little careful.
I'm sorry about that, dear. I understand that you're still in recovery, so you must still be in a lot of stress. I think I may have upset you a little.
Mia, what is wrong with you? Why are you talking to your mother-in-law in this manner? Have you always been this rude? Why are you acting like such a degenerate? Snap out of it! I'm so sorry. It's just that I've been so sensitive these days. I shouldn't have talked that way in front of you.
It's fine, Mia. I've had my share of experiences with childbirth. I know how it must be for you. You should take the baby inside and get some sleep. Once you fall asleep, I'll be going to the supermarket.
Oh, are you trying to buy some groceries?
Yes, I'm going to go get some apple juice.
They also sell packaged briskets at the market. Could you please get some for me? I've been really craving them for a while now.
Sure thing, dear. I'll get you those briskets.
Thank you so much. I think I'll get some sleep now.
Okay, Mia. Sleep tight. Where's your mother, Daniel? She's not here right now. Where did she go? I bought these Texas-style briskets on the way here because your mother and Mia love them. I was passing by the neighborhood, so I wanted to stop by and give you guys the brisket. I know how much you love them. But I don't see your mother here. My mom went back home because she had a little dispute with Mia. What? Is that true? Since when did that happen? It happened while I was at work.
Daniel! What are you trying to say?
Why? I'm not wrong, am I? I heard you and Mom got into an argument, so she ended up leaving.
If you're going to say it, at least say it right. You got it all wrong.
What is this that I'm hearing? What happened? Aunt Mary, you know how careful Mom and I had been around Mia these days. If we say anything or do anything to trigger her in the wrong way, she becomes hysterical.
Daniel!
Wow, Mia. You've got quite the voice when you yell. Did you yell like that in front of your mother-in-law, which drove her to leave the house? No, Aunt Mary. It's not that.
No, it's not anything like that.
Never in my life would I have imagined Mia to be such a person. I am at a loss for words, to be honest. No, Aunt Mary. You gotta listen to me.
No, that's not it.
What do you mean that's not it? I can tell by the way you greeted me when I entered the house just then. Sitting down with a blank expression this whole entire time, I knew something was a little off about you. I felt a little uncomfortable sitting here, and now I totally understand why. I can feel it in my bones. Aunt Mary, you are getting a little too carried away with your anger right now. Your mother has been looking after the baby for days, despite how weary she had been. She spent all those tiresome days looking after the baby, but did it all because she loves her granddaughter so much. I felt bad for her, so I went ahead and bought these briskets that reminded me of your mother. I was thinking about how excited she would be to look at these briskets. I bought it for the both of you, but this is what I'm hearing. Never mind all of this. I'll just leave. Aunt Mary will get a cab for you. You can wait here in the meantime. I'll wait for a cab downstairs. What in the world are you doing, Daniel? Let me go. Let me give you the fare for the cab. You can take your cab fare and feed it to the dogs. I don't want money from a guy who kicked his own mother out for looking after their baby. I'm telling you that it's not like that. Please.
Did you give your aunt the money for the cab ride?
I offered it, but she's still refusing to take it. She's going to my mom's house right now. She refused to take the cab, so she's just going to walk there.
Daniel?
What?
I won't have a second child with you.
What? Why?
My life right now is a literal living hell. I don't think I can bear to have another child that belongs to you, knowing what kind of a person you are.
What are you trying to imply here? Are you saying that you did absolutely nothing wrong? Am I the only one at fault here?
After I gave birth to our daughter, I only had the opportunity to rest for 2 days. And those 2 days were at the hospital.
Yeah? So what?
Did you end up finding out more about postpartum depression?
Is that really necessary?
You see, this is the type of attitude I don't like about you. You didn't even go out of your way to learn about postpartum depression. This tells me that you don't even have the basic regard for me as your wife. If you were the one to get pregnant and have postpartum depression, things would have been more different on my side. The very least I would have done would be to learn about what postpartum depression is, for the sake of my significant other.
So, did you have postpartum depression for a month?
What did you say?
Don't you ever think about all the times you made me and my mom feel uncomfortable?
Daniel, your mother was supposed to stay at our house for 4 days maximum. It's been a whole month since she's been here.
Yes, exactly. 1 month. It's not like it's been 2 or 3 months. You're making such a big deal out of 1 month. She's here to take care of our daughter. She loves her granddaughter more than anything right now.
Then can you answer me this? When we got the new nurse, why did you just send her back saying we don't need one?
That's because my mom was already there to take care of the baby, so we didn't need a new nurse at that point.
I just want to take our daughter and disappear someplace where nobody would bother us. Actually, let me rephrase that. Not even with our daughter. I just want to go someplace alone. Every day I've been thinking to myself how good it would be if I could just have 4 days to myself. Is 4 days too much to ask for? I haven't been alone for 40 days. For 40 days, you called over your family members and all your relatives to come see our daughter. I had a total of 0 rest this whole entire 40-day period. Your mother was practically living with us for a whole month. My depression is getting worse by the day.
But my mom is a good person.
An angel from the heavens can come down for me right now, and I'd still want my alone time. You can go ask any girl out on the street. Who would want to live in the same house with their mother-in-law for a whole entire month?
But my mom said that you were sleeping and resting just fine, even with her in the house. That's why she took care of the baby while you slept, so you can sleep in peace.
Forget about sleeping. Sleep is just another factor. I don't even know if I want to keep living with you anymore.
Are you being for real right now?
I'm saying this because of how you talked about me in front of your aunt a couple minutes ago. How can you even say something like that to her? I'm also really not a fan of what your mother did. She told me that she was going to go to the market while I was asleep. Then she just packs all of her belongings and goes straight back to her house, making me look like the bad person.
It's obviously because you made her feel so uncomfortable and you probably hurt her feelings. That's why she just lied about going to the mart and left the house.
I don't really care what you say about the situation. The same applies for your relatives as well. They're really something, aren't they?
What are you trying to say?
How can they come visit every other 2 days without any regards to my resting time?
They love to see our baby girl, so they love to come over and look at her.
Let's just stop talking about it. I need some time to think for myself. I'm honestly tired of arguing about the same thing over and over again with you.
I feel the exact same way, you know. I've never even heard of a woman who acts like you after having a child. She's your own daughter. You can't even look at her with a joyful attitude, but you just complain about how depressed you feel.
I said I'm done talking about it! I'm so sorry about everything. I just wasn't myself lately. My depression has been getting worse by the day, but that doesn't make it okay for me to treat you this way. I'm so sorry. But I want to tell you that I felt bad when you left the house telling me you were going to the market. After you left the house, I got so many different calls from Daniel's relatives. How could you tell everyone about this? I never knew you would do such a thing.
Mia? Stop crying, dear. I think there's been a big misunderstanding between us.
I'm sorry?
Did you really think that I'd be that type of mother-in-law? A mother-in-law who snitches on other family members? I didn't tell the other family members a thing. When they called me, I was just as surprised as you were. I was shocked to hear what they were telling me. They told me that it was Daniel who called them. What? Daniel was the one who told everyone to stop coming over to see the baby. I feel bad about talking about my own son like this, but it is what it is. I told you that my son could be quite oblivious and careless at times. He's just so simple-minded when it comes to his life. He only thinks about one single outcome.
Yes, I've noticed that.
It's important for you to know, Mia, that I never wanted to go over to your house in the first place. Daniel kept nagging me about coming over to take care of the baby. You and I were on the same page, dear. I didn't want to leave my house in that manner and make you feel uncomfortable in any way. After all, a mother-in-law and her daughter-in-law in one room can never turn out to be pleasant. But Daniel kept insisting that I come over, because your parents live out of town. Anyway, so Daniel kept nagging and nagging until he had his way, and I decided to come over.
Oh, so that's what really happened.
Daniel's relatives don't lack much common sense that you probably thought they did. It was Daniel who called them almost every single day and told them to come over and say hello to the baby. His relatives were the ones who insisted on not going, because they had already visited numerous times. Daniel would then try and appeal to them by telling them how much she's grown and how much prettier she's gotten.
How could he? How can someone be so oblivious and insensible?
That is unbelievable. It was the carelessness on my part which led to all of this. Please understand that I did not come over to your house to make you look bad. I just came over to your house quietly, to avoid any weird complications. I didn't want anyone to think weirdly of you, but I guess Daniel ruined all of that by speaking nonsense to everyone in the family.
Yes, that is true. He does speak a lot of nonsense.
I'll scold him for good. Don't you worry about anything, Mia. Sorry about all of the misunderstandings. I'll hang up now. You careless, window-licking monkey! I can't believe you embarrassed me and your wife like this! Mom, stop! That hurts! Ouch! Please, no! I just wanted to show off our daughter to the family! Ouch! Sorry, Mom! It's just that our daughter is so cute! I wanted everyone to see her! Oh, that hurts! Shut your mouth! More talking, more hitting! That really hurts, Mom. You wouldn't be able to learn your lesson if it didn't hurt. I just wanted to be a good son. I wanted you to look at our daughter and be proud of your son. You dimwit! You think trying to look like a good son is more important than taking care of your wife? How can you leave your wife in that state and condition, despite knowing exactly how she's feeling? You've made a complete fool out of me, your relatives, and your wife. Get over here, you little... Mom, I'm sorry. Mom, please, that really hurts. Why are you pinching me, Mom?
Our baby daughter has the looks of her grandfather. but has the kind-hearted soul of her grandmother. Now when I look at my baby girl, all I do is laugh with joy. My depression is gone, and all I see is my beautiful little princess. She is now going on 6 months, and she is very well and healthy. My husband, who couldn't care less for my postpartum depression, now has a zipper on his mouth. Since the incident, he has learned to keep his mouth shut when necessary. My husband has changed a lot since then. From now on, he gets my permission first when talking about the baby with his family members. I love that everyone is adoring our beautiful baby girl, and I really appreciate everything. But since then, my husband always makes sure to ask me about seeing the baby. Now he thinks of me first, before thinking about his own dignity within the family, which is a great thing. Even with the smallest things, he doesn't forget to check up with me first. So that is something that I really appreciate about my husband after what happened. I am very grateful that we were able to clear up all and any misconceptions regarding family matters. As for my depression and attitude during those times, I am still not quite sure what was up with me. I don't know why I detested the look of people and the laughter of people so much. I wasn't even able to look at my own daughter with a feeling of joy. Even now, I don't understand what was going on with me then. But one thing can be made clear for sure. That is, our daughter will definitely not be having any siblings whatsoever. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed watching, please like and subscribe for more content. Thank you!